Morning, afternoon, and night. It's CBS 42 weather around the clock. Brought to you by Southern Home Structural Specialists. Now, the latest forecast from the CBS 42 Storm Team.
Good Saturday evening, everyone. I'm Storm Team Meteorologist Jacob Woods. We are calm and quiet here at this recording around 7 o'clock on this Saturday, but expecting new storms to fire up late this evening, continuing into the wee hours of Sunday morning, and likely going to be on the noisy side, waking many of you up overnight with that heavy rain, frequent lightning, but also the lower threat for some of these storms to become severe with some gusty winds and some small hail, at least up to 1 inch in diameter, which is around quarter size, and that's about as big as we need for severe weather here in the deep south. So at least throughout the rest of this evening, the daylight hours through sunset likely going to be staying dry with rain chances less than 10%. But after the sun falls, we're going to see some scattered storms popping up north of Birmingham. Eventually, they are going to form along a boundary and kind of drift towards the south and giving a good bit of central Alabama some pretty heavy rain before sunrise on Sunday morning. So where the greater chance for those storms to be on the strong side would be along and southeast of Interstate 59, where they're in that level 1 out of 5 marginal risk. Futurecast shows that at least through 7, 8 o'clock, most of us stay dry. There's those new storms firing up just north of Birmingham as early as 8 o'clock this evening. New storms north of there, and maybe even a bit more on the intense side, kind of indicative with those deeper reds and oranges and even some peaks in there, kind of indicating some stronger storms, maybe even some hail associated and mixed in with a few of these. But notice it's not going to be completely widespread until around 2, 3 a.m. overnight. And by that point, most of the action going to be along and south of a line from Carrollton to Birmingham over to Anniston and Oxford. So people waking up on Sunday morning may see some rain if you're in the Moundville, Demopolis, Brent, Clinton, maybe Alabaster and Alex City. But I think north of Birmingham likely is going to start our Sunday out with a mix of sun and clouds and just some wet, soggy conditions. Things are going to dry out going into the lunch hour, especially going into the afternoon. Best chance for an isolated, just scattered hit or miss storm would be south of Interstate 20 for the peak heating of the day there on our Sunday. But look at this. I think most of us are going to get by with some pretty fair weather with temperatures getting into the mid 80s on Sunday afternoon. It is still going to be very humid though, so feeling like it's closer to 90 degrees, but at least this is good news for the Steel City Jazz Fest. I do think that you should still have the umbrella handy just in case one of those pop-up storms happens to be right over the festival there in downtown Birmingham. But for the majority of us, I think look at it with the glass half full perspective, with at least a 70 to even 80% chance of staying dry after we get through those morning storms on Sunday. So again, storms tonight into early Sunday. Most of us going to wake up and the storms are already going to be gone by Sunday morning. We'll stay dry for the rest of the day, maybe a hit or miss storm in the afternoon, potentially 2 rounds of storms on Monday, 1 in the morning, 1 in the late afternoon into the evening hours, both of which will pose the risk of becoming strong to severe with gusty winds and small hail being the main risk. Then we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, storm chances are lowering a little bit and the severe risk is starting to wane as well. Can't rule out some of these still being on the strong side. It is that time of the year. Doesn't take much heat and moisture and just energy to make some of these storms a bit more on the noisy side. Once we get into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, starting to increase those rain chances slightly again, as we'll see just more of those scattered storms kind of popping up across the region.